Welcome to Landria on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. Hey, guess what? I'm drinking coffee. Ooh. Yeah, coffee. Can we get off my coffee habits? Sheesh, it's the American way. All right, I'm dodging a little bit of sun here, I see. Ooh, okay, yeah, that's sun. Nothing wrong with a little bit of Georgia sunshine. Okay, I've got some really good stuff for you today. I'm gonna shoot a whole bunch of videos. All right, so this one's called "Why Not You." All right, so my whole channel is on breaking through fear because everything that is negative is based on a fear. Fear is only a residual of a belief. If you could change a belief and it was all positive and good, there would be no fear. So I always promote breakthrough fear, not eliminate fear, because I'm going to back up here, because we have some seriously ingrained beliefs that are never going to go away. And to think that they're just going to disappear and we're going to stop believing all this stuff that we have for centuries is sort of silly. It doesn't even make sense, because we don't have to get rid of those beliefs. We just have to recognize them, get out of the fog, get out of the, this mind trance we're in, that we are in every day. Why? Because we have television and computers and all these things that are telling us negative messages. Why? Because those in charge of these things that are not good for us like to boom, 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 brainwash us. And we're going along with it. We're in charge. We're always in charge. So why not you? All right, so a lot of people... Well, not a lot of people. A few people have come back and said, well, I read your background, and oh my gosh, you're so accomplished, and you have a very strong mind. You're just a strong person, and this and that. And so there you go. You're manifesting. You just manifested it. Okay. There is a belief that some people have advantages over others. First of all, because we're believing that we had no choice in the role we're playing here. We believe that we have just been hurtled into this planet and plopped down, and that it was luck of the draw. And that's just not true. And you don't have to believe that to go along with what I'm about to tell you. If you don't believe that you had any say in your role here, even the most challenging one that you took on, which by the way is the most revered, because those are the people who have the biggest opportunity to raise their frequency. It's all about learning and all about spiritual growth. It's not about the stuff we get here. That's why, The Secret and all these things are so focused on, in my opinion, a lower frequency of manifestation. It's all about me, me, me. What can I get? And then people are not happy, and then they don't know why. And then they go into a lower frequency, and then they're not manifesting the things they want. So it's just this vicious cycle. So I'm going to ask you a question. Why not you? What have you told yourself, because this is a belief, what have you told yourself that makes you think that you cannot have the life you desire? And if that life you're trying to go after is the me, me, me lower frequency life of, oh, I want the supermodel, and oh, I want the $1 billion. I've had people say that, and it's like, does that even make any sense? That's not joy. That's not happiness. There's no connection between that and your spiritual growth. No connection at all. So when you're focused on that, it's no wonder that things are not developing the way you want them to, because it's all about threat, fear, and ego. And when you think that those things are going to make you happy, your belief is that you don't wield that power, and that there's something else outside there that can make you happy. You're not understanding that why not you? You have everything that everybody else has equally. Equally. And there's diversity on this planet purposely of wealth and power and looks and physical skills and brains, and how wonderful is that? But we don't celebrate that, do we? We're threatened by it because the ego is on a lower frequency and it thinks lack. Somebody has more than me, somebody's smarter than me, somebody had advantages. Landria, she's just strong-minded, so she's accomplished all these things. I chose that. I chose that role. Purposely. Why? So that I could be this person sitting here strong for you. And believe me, if you think for a minute that I don't have the same human feelings as everybody else, think again. I just move past them. And I push myself to do the things that I know need to be done to accomplish my goals. And my goal is to raise the frequency of the planet, one light being at a time. I could have stayed here in my little house and had a normal career, and I do my internet marketing. You guys know I do that for a living. Create companies and do some cool stuff without ever sitting in front of this camera, putting myself in the public eye. But if I don't do this, I'm not going to accomplish my goal of helping other people get out of the fog, the brain fog, that tells them that they can't do all the things that they see in others that they admire. You don't have to admire anybody. You don't. Why not you? I want you to answer that question right now. Why not you? Why not you? So now if you're looking to say, I want to own a basketball team, well, you could say, why not you? But ask yourself where that's coming from. Is that an ego-based, low frequency, I want because I power or I feel good or whatever? Why not have the kind of abundance and joy that you can buy the back seats and not have to run the team and have all the headaches of that, and take your family to the game and whatever? That can all happen. If you get a high-level executive position, geez, we used to go sit in the box all the time. On a regular basis. There was always somebody who had box seat tickets to anything, courtside, all of that stuff. It's not a big deal. But it is if you think it is, so that's your belief. Why not you? Well, because you don't believe it. So if you don't believe it, then you are actually saying that everything in the Bible, if you're a Christian, and everything Christ said, these things you shall do or more, is a lie. Yeah. No, that's really what you're saying. It's a lie. You can move mountains. Belief, you have to believe. Have faith the size of a mustard seed. Somebody just put that in the comment. I love it. And you can move mountains. That's in the Bible. Are those lies? You have to decide. Especially Christians out there who preach in the Bible and then turn around and say, oh, it's blasphemous for me to think I have those powers. Really? The Bible and Christ spent a lot of time trying to tell you you could. The man walked on water, and he said these things you shall do and more. And you still don't believe. Why not you? Why not you? Because we have been told for centuries that we are peons that need to stay in the fields working our hands off to the bone. That we're not worthy because there's a percentage this big that likes to keep the population in that working, powerless zone. That complains about the government instead of taking charge of their own lives. You need to oppose nothing. Opposition creates more conflict. That is never the answer to anything. So I want you to think about this and ask yourself, why not me? What is it you're believing that thinks that you can't do anything that I do? So I have a question, especially to the gal who said, I'm so accomplished, Landria's so accomplished, it's my natural, of course, ability. Do you want to do those things that I did? You might not even want to do those things, so why does it even matter? What do you want to do? Because whatever you want to do, you can do. And if you're shooting for something that is not in alignment with what is best and good for you, that is going to be in conflict. So herein is this whole frequency thing. That's why I said this law of attraction. Focus on what your frequency is, and that's it. What lies in that frequency? If my frequency is one of lack, I don't think I have the power that other people have. I think things are going to make me happy. I'm always worried about me and what I'm getting. And you know my 3-second manifesting? I wonder how many of you were switching over to global peace or clarity or personal peace. Anybody? If you did, raise your hand. I do. Peace and light, I send it to the world. I have a picture, peace and love to all. To all. It's in my meditation I gave you guys. That's what I put in my head. You know why? Because when that happens, my frequency continues to go up along with yours, and the world I live in becomes a peaceful, beautiful place, and there is no trying to manifest abundance. It's something we're all going to experience. That's the higher frequency that gets you stuff like me. I find money, dollar bills, not pennies, sitting in front of my house. Why? Because there's just no limits to anything, and I know that. And my focus is global peace and love, and for us to get out of this veil. What's the veil? It's this thick thing that over us that we believe we've been told for centuries that we're powerless, and that's where that Landria is this, so she's getting that you think you don't have. That the Bible says over and over you have power, but we've been told we don't. Why? We've been told by other people. Who are you going to believe? Christ? Or the governments? Or the churches that tell you that you have to repent to them and give money to them? And I'm not knocking religion, believe me. There's some beautiful, beautiful religions out there. But most of them, if you don't act the way they want you to, will reject you. That's not love. That's not acceptance. That's not forgiveness. What's there to forgive? There's nothing to ever forgive. We're just experiencing life together. Why not you? What are you telling yourself that's allowing you to believe that you don't have those powers? What was told to you that has programmed you, and it is programming? When do you stop believing the garbage? What good has it ever done for you or anybody? No, it has. For that percentage up there that wants you to be sick, taking pharmaceuticals, that gives you a pill every time you feel bad. I'm down. Oh, here's some pills. Drug you up. When your kid is a little bit out of control, give them drugs. Let's get all these vaccinations. Let's take pills. Somebody said, why don't I cure myself of my allergies? I actually did. Thank you. I was taking, because everything's blooming here constantly in Georgia. I'm highly allergic to grass and cats. Guess what? I had a cat living with me that I slept with, little right by my face, little coo, super allergic to cats. I managed to get over that. The other thing too is I got off every single drug for my allergies. And believe me, I rarely would take them, but I got to the point where if it was really bad, I would take one. I got off all of them, and I'm doing great. Isn't that amazing? I may sneeze. Once in a great while, I'll sneeze. I'm a human being, guys, just like you. Just like you. No different. I don't have any more powers than you do. When do you start believing that? When do you stop questioning yourself? Where did that come from? Where did that belief come from? Why not you? Why not you living in peace and abundance? And When you start to focus on that clarity and that peace, all of these things come, because that's the highest frequency of where all of that lies. And when you shoot for that and you find that peace, that's number one. Not that money, not that lottery. That's a low frequency, and you can go after it. In fact, when you start to believe that stuff, that's good. It's all good. Because you stop getting the negative thoughts out of your head. But then let's focus on what's really important. Not abundance for you, abundance for all of us. We are one thing. So how can I have more than you do? It's impossible. I'm just manifesting it in my individual reality, that's all. And you're choosing not to, because you're choosing to believe something that's limiting you. You're choosing it. Nobody makes you think anything. So-and-so told me they can tell me anything they want. I don't believe it. You can tell me there's no life on other planets. I'll never in a million years believe it. I know for a fact there's life on other planets. I know it for a fact. I know there's a God. What is God? God is everything. God is the power that reigns through everything and you are it. You are that power. Just expressing itself, that's all. Don't make up some story in your head, and the story you're spewing back that's going to argue with this, somebody else told you. It came from someplace else. Trust me, if you were out in the woods, if you were the wolf child out in the woods and I pulled you, you wouldn't even know any of this stuff. You're getting it from conditioning of other things that you've seen that you chose to believe. And you can choose to not believe it. And you can choose to believe that you can change anything in your life right now. Right now. That's how quick it can happen. That's why I show you. And I'm not doing that to get the, law of attraction. I'm telling you guys, you can manifest in 3 seconds. What is it? A thought is manifesting. Whether it starts to appear or not depends on how much you focus on it. So if you're constantly focused on worry, lack, that's why you are in a lack position, financially, struggling. Because you're focused so often on it, it's actually happening. So the 3-second thought, if you continue that and catch yourself, it's going to be the dominant thought that cancels out anything else. And pretty soon, you'll start to believe the new thought. That's why it's so important to see things. Visualize it and see that I am abundant. I have clarity. That's one of the number one things I always ask for. Next to world peace and love, I send light and love out to this planet every day. Sometimes several times a day. Any chance I get, I send it. And the second thing I ask for is clarity for myself. I want clarity, because when I have clarity, I am resonating on a high frequency and there are no questions. When you have clarity, you don't have to, you just know things. You just know it. Not from an egotistical standpoint. You just know how beautiful life is and that you have no limits and you're so connected to it. And then you realize you still have this human experience where there are allergies, where there are challenges, where people die, and stuff happens that we don't understand, but you don't have to know the answers. You don't have to understand it anymore. You just know that everything's exactly the way it should be. And when you have a negative fear of, fear creeps up or whatever, all it is an indication to you of what else you have to work on. Oops, there it is again. Oh yeah, that's right. Mom and Dad told me that, this is how things are. And I have to be afraid of this and that or whatever it is. Why not you? Why not you? What belief are you adopting that tells you that you're any different from the most powerful manifester on this planet? Listen, I want to tell you, look at the people in power and ask yourself, how the heck do those people get into office? How do they run countries? And there's some pretty scary leaders out there. How? Because little minions like us put them into office. They don't get in there by themselves. because they have convinced you that they have more power and that they're going to do something for you, and you're walking around with that power right now. And you can do anything without opposing, without arguing your point. That's the ego, lower frequency. Having to be right. What I believe is this. They're going to correct, everybody correcting each other. Somebody says something, believe it or not. You don't have to argue with anybody. You hold unbelievable power. When do you start believing it? You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.